Bill Cypher is a multiversal constant, a being who wins everywhere he goes. Universe after universe falls the same way. Manipulation, chaos, domination. So when Bill claims he's done this all before, we believe him. But there's one universe where the pattern breaks. One town, one family. Because in Gravity Falls, Bill Cypher doesn't just face resistance, he faces something that completely shuts him down. And it isn't magic, it isn't destiny, it's two deeply flawed brothers. You're not wrong to think Bill should have won here too. By every rule he understands, he should have. But if you want to know why this universe survives, why Ford's knowledge and Stan's sacrifice mattered more than Bill's power, and why the Pines brothers succeed where entire realities failed, then you need to understand why Bill Cypher could never beat them. On the surface, Grunkle Stan looks innocent, even though he is a liar, a manipulator, a greedy con man running a tourist trap in a town full of gullible people. If Bill feeds on weakness, shortcuts, and selfishness, Stan should have been the easiest target of all. So why didn't Bill beat him? Stan Pines is a master manipulator, but not the kind Bill expects. Years on the road as a con man taught Stan how to read people, exploit expectations, and survive without power, magic, or intelligence backing him up. His charisma isn't supernatural, it's learned, and that makes it unpredictable. Stan's greed isn't abstract either. It comes from being disowned, from poverty, and from being told his entire life that he was worthless. Money isn't about power for Stan, it's about never being helpless again. That's something Bill doesn't understand. Despite being written off as stupid by teachers, and even his own father, Stan repeatedly proves himself frighteningly capable. He restores Ford's interdimensional portal. He operates machinery he was never supposed to understand. Most importantly, Stan outwits Bill Cypher. Not with intelligence, not with power, but with something Bill cannot manipulate, family loyalty. Stan answers Ford's call for help, even after 10 years of resentment. He risks everything despite knowing his brother might never forgive him. And in the finale of Gravity Falls, Stan sacrifices his own mind to stop Bill something Bill never anticipates. Bill expects greed. He expects selfishness. He expects deals. What he doesn't expect is someone who will choose love over survival. And that's why Stan isn't just a nuisance to Bill, he's a hard counter. If Bill Cypher wanted a partner, Ford Pines was the ideal choice. A genius, obsessive, someone who valued knowledge above safety and recognition. So how did Bill's greatest collaborator become one of his greatest enemies? Ford Pines is fundamentally different from Stan. He is an intellectual, introverted, analytical, and deeply absorbed in abstract thought. He enjoys complexity for its own sake, from advanced strategy games to dangerous paranormal research. Risk excites him if it leads to understanding. That made him vulnerable. Ford has a powerful need for his intellect to be recognized, to be seen as exceptional, to matter. Bill exploits this perfectly by presenting himself as a muse, a cosmic entity that inspires one great mind per century. To Ford, Bill isn't a demon at first, he's validation. But that same intelligence that draws Ford toward Bill also allows him to see the danger eventually. After being tricked, Ford becomes paranoid, cautious, and distrustful. He learns the hard way that pure intellect isn't protection. Knowledge without humility becomes a liability. Despite his self-absorption, Ford's loyalty to family never fully disappears. He regrets hurting Stan. He protects Dipper and Mabel, even when it costs him everything, even offering to let Bill rule the universe if the kids are spared. Ford is serious, driven, and brave, and that's where Bill miscalculates. Bill sees Ford as a mind to use, a tool for access, but Ford learns. He adapts, and unlike Bill, Ford is capable of change. Stan and Ford Pines weren't rivals. They weren't opposites. They were inseparable. And that's what makes their story tragic, because Bill didn't destroy them from the outside. They broke each other first. As children, Stan and Ford were inseparable twins. Stan was the protector, physically stronger, fiercely loyal, and completely accepting of Ford's differences. He stood up to bullies. He was proud of Ford's intelligence. He believed they would face the world together. But as Ford's brilliance began to eclipse everything else, comparisons followed. Teachers praised Ford. Opportunities opened for him alone. And their shared dream, sailing the world together, quietly began to disappear. Stan didn't hate Ford. He feared losing him. That fear turned into resentment, teasing, and self-sabotage, until it finally exploded during the science fair. In a moment of anger and panic, Stan damaged Ford's infinite motion machine, unintentionally destroying Ford's college future. The consequences were immediate and devastating. Ford, hurt and humiliated, refused to defend Stan when their father disowned him. Stan was cast out alone, and yet he never stopped caring. Stan called Ford hanging up without speaking, kept their boxing photo taped inside his car, and when Ford finally sent a postcard from Gravity Falls, Stan rushed back believing it was a chance to make things right. Instead, Ford planned to send him away. The fight that followed sent Ford into the portal, and Stan was left holding his brother's glasses and journal, unable to sleep, drowning in guilt. For the next 30 years, Stan devoted his life to undoing that moment, rebuilding the portal, breaking laws, burning his life away, all to bring his brother back. When Ford finally returns, Stan expects reconciliation. Instead, he gets punched. Ford shows no gratitude, no acknowledgement of the sacrifice. Both Pines brothers believe they are the ones who caused all of this. When everything begins to fall apart, Stan is crushed by guilt. He believes the kids might be dead and that it's his fault. He tells himself his father was right all along, that he really is a screw-up who ruins everything he touches. Ford responds differently. He takes the blame instead. Ford admits the truth. He was the one who made the deal with Bill. He fell for the flattery. He mistook manipulation for validation. And he says something crucial. Stan would have seen Bill for what he was, instantly a scam artist. In that moment, neither brother deflects responsibility. Neither rewrites the story to protect their ego. They share the blame, and that's something Bill Cypher can't comprehend. Bill survives by denying fault. The Pines brothers do the opposite. They accept that they failed. They remember their childhood, how they were once as close as Dipper and Mabel, not perfect, but together. And that shared accountability, the ability to say this is on me, is exactly what makes them immune to Bill's manipulation. Bill Cypher doesn't fight the Pines brothers by accident. He targets them because he has to. Without them, Bill can't reach the world at all. Bill needs Ford first. Ford is intelligent, curious, and fundamentally normal-minded, meaning he still believes intelligence protects him. That makes him vulnerable to flattery. Bill understands this perfectly. He presents himself as a muse, a cosmic being that chooses one great mind to uplift. And it works, because Bill can't access the physical world alone. He needs technology and portal things only someone like Ford can build. But Stan is different. In the finale, Bill tries to manipulate Stan the same way. He manipulates everyone else by offering things: money, fame, infinite power, his own galaxy. To Bill, these are irresistible rewards. But Bill makes a fatal mistake. Stan doesn't care about power, or legacy, or being special. What Stan keeps closest to him, what defines him, is family. That's why Bill's offer fails. Stan doesn't refuse Bill because he's stronger, or smarter. He refuses because everything Bill offers would cost him the one thing he never gambles with. Bill understands ego. He understands greed. He understands ambition. What he doesn't understand is unconditional loyalty. And that blind spot is exactly where he loses. Bill Cypher has conquered countless universes. He manipulates, he corrupts, he always finds a way in. And yet, In this universe, he fails. Not because he was weaker, but because he faced something he'd never encountered before. In every other universe, Bill wins because he isolates people. He turns minds against each other. But in Gravity Falls, he runs into the Pines brothers, and they don't fight him the same way anyone else does. Ford brings technology, decades of research. He builds the tools Bill needs, and the trap Bill never anticipates. Stan brings sacrifice, not strategy, not power. The willingness to lose himself completely if it means protecting his family. That combination is unbeatable. Bill Cypher doesn't lose because he's outsmarted. He loses because, for the first time, someone is willing to give up everything instead of bargaining. Bill can manipulate greed. He can manipulate ego. He can manipulate fear. But he cannot manipulate love that doesn't ask for anything back. And that's why this universe survives. Thank you all for the support I have gotten recently, and thanks for watching the video. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.